Hey everyone, it's time for today's live video. And our question for today comes from someone named David. And David wants to know, how do you differentiate between the impact of your own changes in design versus the other changes being made within the company at the same time frame, i.e. something like a sales campaign that happened at the same time that you were updating things related to the sales? And that's a really good question because at the end of the day, they're not mutually exclusive and you don't exist in a vacuum and the work you do does not exist in a vacuum. So it's important to understand what people are doing in different parts of your company that are important to the area where you're working as well. And it's also important to understand the goals of the projects that you're working on. So I think one of the most important things that we forget to do as UX designers or on people working on products is ask, how do we know if this is going to be successful? What's the end goal when we release or launch this product or these updates? So if you know that, and if you're thinking about the end goal and where you're going with it, you have a much better sense of A, who you need to talk to, whose work might also be impacting it, and B, how your changes affect it. The other thing that you can do once you know the end goal is figure out what a baseline number is of how that's happening now. So for example, if you're working on an area of your software app and your goal is to reduce the number of clicks that it takes to get to a step, well, first of all, you need to know how many clicks does it take to get to a step. Okay, great, you know that. And you also need to know how many people give up halfway through or at a certain point, and where do they give up. Not only does that help you establish how much more successful your process will be, but it also tells you where people are losing interest or getting confused or going down another direction when they're trying to complete this thing potentially. And so that gives you a place to focus your design work in terms of improving the process and asking the questions and doing usability testing. And so you're not flying blind. And when you bring data into the process like that, and when you are looking at those baselines, you can understand who else might be impacting this as well. So maybe one of the problems is a load time issue in this process that we're trying to reduce the number of clicks and get more people to finish. And that's something that the dev team might be working on in terms of making things more efficient or making the calls to the back end happen more quickly or load in a different way so it's not as cumbersome. And so that can be something where you would coordinate with your dev team to make sure that you're both on the same page about where you're going and the work that you're doing to make it all happen. On the flip side, you might be working on something that has to do with the demo that your sales team goes out and demos to potential customers. And so you'll want to work with the sales team and figure out, what are they trying to pitch? What do customers ask them about? What are the questions and discussion points that they have that you can help support in the best way? And so when you're working with different teams and you're talking to them, the work that they're doing does impact the goals and the results that you get for your project work, but it also makes everybody's work a lot better. And so when you're thinking about trying to track the success of the projects that you're working on, make sure you establish a baseline, make sure you're talking to the teams who might be involved and understanding what they're doing, and make sure you all collaborate together to ensure the best success for your product. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm doing this for the next couple of days. Well, I think 27 more days. I'd love to get your questions on data and UX and anything you want to know. You can email me at hello@pixelsforhumans.com or leave a comment here. Thanks, everyone. Short video today. Bye. As soon as I figure out how to end it.